Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Anonymous Squadcast. It's Photorealistic. Today we're going to be bringing you hard-hitting news on Finland, Battlefield Premium, tank superiority, Battlefield 4, and the release date of Battlefield 4. We're going to be talking a little bit about have you achieved your goals on the battlefield? It's in reference to a video which we'll get to at a later time. We'll be giving a little bit of mini review on the Nexus 7 tablet. And finally, we'll be talking about should games be photorealistic? Now, for an extra special treat for you guys, for episode 2, we have brought in one of our friends. His name is Ertzi, and he is from Finland. And to celebrate our international guest, we've decided to cover 10 strange and interesting facts about Finland. So, without further ado, ZitterZap start us off with the first one.
Hey Nova and Utsi, I guess you guys are doing good.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm pleased to be here. So thank you guys for inviting me. I'm quite excited.
Well, we are very excited to have you here and we are very happy. I did some research on the internet about Finland when I knew that you were coming on the show, and I kind of landed on this web page which talks about 10 strange and interesting facts about Finland. So I'm going to ask you whether they are true or whether they are not true because anything you read on the internet, you can't just believe it. So the first
hmm
fact is the amount you get fined for speeding on the roads on Finland depends on the amount you earn. So the more you earn, the more you get fined. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Actually, I have one uh, live thingy on this one. Couple of years ago, when I had a motorcycle and my income was quite good, I was speeding like 30 over a speed limit, and I got over 600 euros of speeding fee when my pal just got like 200 euros. We were speeding at the same speed, but our income was different. So yeah, it's true.
Well, I actually like this idea because there are a lot of people in America who make a lot of money and they do not care about getting $100 or $200 ticket. What do you think about that, Noah?
Well, I did a little number crunching, and Ertzi paid about $740 for his speeding ticket. I think if rich people had to start paying $740 for their speeding tickets, we might see a lot less speeders on the road.
Yeah, that's true. So, why don't you cover the next fact, Nova?
All right. Fact number 2. Finland is known as the land of 1,000 lakes. But not just 1,000, over 180,000 lakes.
So, Utsi, how far do you live away from a lake?
Um, I guess a nearest lake is like less than 10 kilometers away.
Wow, that
Sorry, like yeah, I believe it's like 5 kilometers or stuff. But um, because I live on the west coast, there's only like 30 or 40 kilometers to the sea at the sea coast. So, but where I was born, there was like three lakes within a few hundred meters. So yeah,
that means
it's a fact.
you guys would be having a lot of fish and everything that would be part of your regular meal.
Uh, no, no, not really, not really. Yeah, the fish is a part of Finnish food culture, but not so much as you could think.
Okay.
Because well, I don't know. I guess the sea is the more important source for the fish.
Okay, not the lakes.
Yeah, not really. We have fish there, and people usually have a hobby of fishing. I did fish when I was young, but meh, it's boring.
I'm gonna cover fact three now. Finns are one of the most ingenuitive people on the planet. I mean, they can figure stuff out. They can like build stuff. They can, if you give them few tools and stuff, they can like, okay, we can build that and all those things. Artsy, have you seen examples of that around your area?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it depends. Again, it depends on the people and on the topic.
Mhm.
Since Finnish people aren't like too um they don't socialize so much as other people. So we are uh like roomy people. But if uh if you motivate us in the right way, yeah, we can do miracles. Like for example, give a Finn a beer bottle,
Mhm.
and Finnish guy just opens it, no matter how. So
So they
it depends on the
so
topic.
they don't need bottle openers to open beer bottle. They'll always figure out some way to open it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the most popular beer in Finland?
I believe we have like three beverages which are from Finland, like Olvi, Karjala, Karhu, Lapinkulta. Okay, there's four.
Okay.
So they're the most popular, and then these brands which you might know like Foster's, Sandals, Heineken, Budweiser,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, those American brands invade other countries anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah. Noah, you have anything to say?
No, I think we'll just start right back into the list there to keep things on track.
Sure.
Number 4, Finland is called the land of the midnight sun. Now, a lot of our viewers probably know that in the northmost parts of the world, the sun stays up all night long. This is also true in Finland. I believe during the months of June and July, way at the north of Finland, the sun never sets. Artsy, have you experienced this day all night?
Yeah, yeah, I have. It's actually around 24th of June, I believe. Uh, Usually the summertime is very light time in Finland, but um, it's like in the midsummer festival, midsummer fest around there when there is this whole day when the sun actually never like sets. After that, like on the 25th and so on, the day is getting shorter and shorter. So we are like getting more dark time every day now. So it's 1.5 months ago now. The daytime is over 16 hours long.
Okay, wow. 16 hours of daylight. I would love 16 hours of daylight.
Mhm. Well, then we have this long and awful winter, which is cold and dark. So
Yeah.
you have to give us some treat
Yeah,
every now and
definitely.
then.
I think people might be picking up big projects to do during the summer because there is so much daylight, right? They're going to be thinking like, oh, there is a lot of daylight. We're going to do this, and all big projects. They might plan it for the summer, I believe.
Uh, Usually summer is like holiday time in Finland,
Okay.
so they do like their own stuff and spend time with their families and relax and enjoy the summer and the sunlight.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cover the next fact, which is the fifth fact, which is pretty obvious. I mean, it's just the opposite of the midnight sun. Finland is
Hmm.
also known as the land of polar nights, and basically there are times during the winters when the sun never makes it over the horizon, so it's completely dark. Um, I think we already discussed that a little bit with Earthsea. So Noah, can you move on to the next one?
Yep, you got it. So, fact number 6. There are no public payphones in Finland. And kind of a counterpoint to that, there are over 5 million mobile phones in Finland. And so, Erti, I guess my question is, are there no public phones because everyone has a mobile phone, or does everyone have to have a mobile phone because there are no public phones?
It's the first one, since everyone has a mobile phone. When the mobile phones started to get more public, I believe, and the price tag was getting more reasonable, then the public phones just started to fade away. I have used public payphone like once or twice in my life when I was a kid. But yeah, there's ask anyone in Finland, he has a cell phone.
So, since Nokia is a Finnish company, is Nokia the most popular phone in Finland right now?
I believe, yeah, but I think the iPhone and Samsung have been catching up because Nokia, as you all know, Nokia isn't doing very well right now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna cover the next fact, which is fact number 7. It says that 1 and 2 cent coins are not used in Finland. So basically, when you're getting grocery or anything in Finland, the person who is giving you change, they just round the price that they have to pay you back to the nearest 5 cents, and they don't care about the 1 and 2 cents. Is that right, Artsy?
Yeah, it is. You can actually have the 1 and 2 cents at the shelves, like in the price tags, like something can cost like um 4 euros 57 cents and stuff. But when you go to pay your groceries, they they like round it up to 60 if you pay in cash. If you pay it with your card, like Visa Electronic or Mastercard and stuff, then they use the 1 and 2 cents too. But yeah, not 1 and 2 cents aren't used like in when you pay in cash.
Yeah, and I know uh, it's a very strange thing for an American, right, Noah? This thing that you don't get all your money back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have something to say about that.
Yeah, actually, I'm very familiar with it because I'm from India, and in India we have 1 rupee, and 1 rupee is basically 1/40th of a dollar, and 1 rupee is divided into 100, you can say, cents or 100 paisas, and nobody cares about returning you even 50 paisa or 25 paisa. They'll just round it up to a rupee, and if you bought something for $9 and 50 cents, and you paid 10 rupees, 9 rupees and 50 paisa, and you paid 10 rupees for it, they're just gonna not give you any change because they're like, hey, we don't use those coins anymore. So I mean, I've seen markets that actually adopt this kind of thing. So I'm not that it's it's not that much of an alien concept to me.
All right, let's move on to interesting fact number 8. So, Finland probably holds the world record for hosting world championships. A lot of the major events include wife carrying, mobile phone throwing, mosquito catching, swamp soccer, sauna, boot throwing, and air guitar. Now, Artsy, I know you're still working on the wedding front, but could you potentially be the next face of wife carrying?
Well, possibly, yeah, but yeah, why not? But I'm not really into that kind of sport. But it would be cool, like test it out sometime, since they are usually very wacky events, all of them. Like, and by the way, Swan Soccer, it's just awesome game. It's so hard and so consuming, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I have seen swamp soccer in a couple of documentaries. over there, and it's pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move on to fact number 9. When driving in Finland, you must keep your headlights on at all times. So, is that a fact?
Yeah, it is. If you drive around uh, without your headlights, people are just going to flash. When they come towards you, they are going to flash their lights to like signal you, hey guy, you forgot your headlights. And if police sees that, they okay, they usually don't stop you and ticket you by that. They just flash their blue lights. But yeah, it's
Okay, that's interesting.
it, yeah, it's a fact. And uh, even a little bit newer car has automatic lights. When you like start up the car, the lights go on. So it's a fact.
All right, and finally, fact number 10. Finns love their sauna. Now, we aren't making any claims to whether the Finns invented the sauna, but there are
Uh,
approximately 2.2 million saunas in Finland. Ertzi, do you frequent the sauna?
Yep. And I have to say, Finns did invent the sauna, so there's no question about it.
I think it's between the Swedes and the Finns, right? Both of them are trying to say we invented the sauna. No, we did.
Yeah. I, honestly, I don't know which one did it. I believe it was Finland, but it could be any one of them,
I think if
honestly.
we ever get somebody from Dice onto our podcast, he's from they would probably be from Sweden. We can ask them, and they might say completely the opposite thing.
Well, they're from Dice, so you can't really trust them. Ah, just kidding. They're cool guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2.2 million saunas for 5.5 million people is a lot of saunas, I believe.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sauna is an awesome thing.
Yeah.
When even even more if you have like a smoke sauna. So it's like old traditional one. The whole sauna, like warming up the sauna, it takes. You have to start warming it up at like at the early morning, so you can bath in there in the evening.
Wow. Wow.
But it's the traditional way. It's so awesome,
It's worth
and
it.
yeah, it's totally worth it. And the birds leaves and stuff.
Yeah. So,
If you haven't tried it, you have to try.
yeah. I have never tried a sauna, but I have tried a jacuzzi. That's
Eh,
how hot I've been around my
mhm.
body, whatever. But
Okay.
so Artsy, did we miss any fact, any interesting thing about Finland that we kind of missed here?
Um, well, there's a lot of strange facts and rumors about Finland, but I'm not going to talk about them too much now. But um, I don't know. Yeah, no, we didn't miss anything too important.
Yeah, I think if we talk more about Finland, we can go on for an hour.
We just make this a Finland podcast
Yeah,
instead of
yeah,
Battlefield.
Exactly. So
and Artsy can
let's just move
translate
on.
it in Finnish and release it in his country.
They all speak
Yeah,
English.
yeah. Basically, everyone speaks English.
Okay. One thing I've heard from my friend is the Finnish language is like any other language in the world. It's like Hungarian, but like it's not similar to any language, any other language.
Yeah, the Hungarian is like some kind of uh, distant, distantly related to Finnish language,
Hmm.
but it's not near like it.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Uh, and I've heard like people who doesn't fluently speak Finnish that it's so hard like to learn it, but I don't have input on that since I've been speaking it all my life. So
Yep. So Noah, you want to take us to the next segment?
So we're gonna move into just a little bit of a recap of our real life weeks. Just say anything that interesting happened, or just lay down some news from our personal side of things. Zitter, what about you?
Well, I would like to tell you guys that I had a very hard day at work today, and as I was really tired, and I was questioning myself whether I would be able to do the podcast with all the energy today or not. But I came home, I took a shower, I went downstairs, and my wife made me this awesome dinner. My awesome wife made me awesome dinner, and I was back in the mood. I was like, yeah, I want to do this podcast. I want to talk about Finland. I want to talk about games. So this week I actually played Killzone 3. I was a little burnt out on Battlefield 3, but I still played around 10-15 hours of Battlefield 3, even though I was burnt out. But moving on to Killzone 3, yeah, I played Killzone 3. I bought their DLC pack. I think it was 8 new modes on the older maps for like $10. So you basically get like 8 maps for $10, which is not bad. Um, and there is some stuff that I like about Killzone 3, which I would like to see in Battlefield 3. So I will try to give you guys a little bit of information about Killzone 3 right now. Okay, so in Killzone 3, what you can do? Have you guys played Killzone 3? Any one of you? No.
I either rented it or played a demo, but it was only for a couple hours.
What about you, Artsy?
no. I have heard about it and watched a bunch of YouTube videos
Yeah.
about it, but yeah, haven't tried it.
Okay. Here I'm gonna cover the things that I like about Killzone 3, which might be interesting to put in Battlefield 3, but I'm not gonna cover the things that I hate about Killzone 3 because I've still not decided on it. I'm still pretty much an armature at Killzone, so I'm no good to criticize the game. So one thing is that you can pick up a weapon from the enemy without picking up his whole kit. Like in Battlefield 3, if you pick up an engineer weapon or an engineer kit, you get mines, you get repair torch, and everything else. But in Killzone 3, you can pick up the weapon, so you could be like a medic rolling out with an LMG in Killzone 3 or with a sniper rifle, even cooler. So this is something really cool which I would like to like see in Battlefield 3. Maybe they put some kind of free for all mode in there, and so that we can just pick up the weapon and everything and just roll around with it in a sandbox.
Some other games that allow you to pick up just the gun instead of the entire class. The Call of Duty franchise is pretty well known for that.
Yeah.
Um, as far as your free for all thing, I don't think we can expect that anytime soon
Yeah.
in Battlefield, because the whole point about Battlefield, as opposed to most other shooters, is that it's really all about your team.
Yep. And one way is like basically Killzone actually encourages you picking up different weapons because it gives you very less bullets to start with. I mean, in Killzone, it takes around 20 plus bullets to kill an enemy, whereas in Battlefield 3, it takes maybe 5 to 10 bullets. So, and it gives you like 80 bullets to start with. So you're gonna be picking up a lot of weapons. I'm gonna try and go through these ones quick because I don't think we want to discuss Killzone 3 too much. Um, Second thing is medic can revive itself. So if you die, you can basically after 3 or 4 seconds you can press a button and you can revive yourself. And it also has a companion bot which flies with it and shoots at enemies. So when you're passing an area, basically your bot will start shooting at enemies, and then you're going to realize, oh wow, there is an enemy to my left, I should be shooting at him. And also sometimes what happens is that if your enemy kills you, the bot is still alive. If the enemy doesn't kill the bot can take out the enemy sometimes. So if you have hurt the enemy enough that he's only on 10% health, your bot can finish him off even if you die. So that's kind of a cool thing. One thing I really liked is that you get 1.5 times the points if your team wins, which is really awesome for PTFO mentality guys who doesn't want to who really work to make their team win, and it's kind of a nice incentive to do that. And I would recommend the game for if you can get it right now. I think you can find it for $10 on eBay, and that's a really good buy. Only negative things, couple of negative things. I haven't seen much squad play in Killzone 3. Even guys who are on mic, they are not calling out positions and everything. I don't know why that is, or maybe I haven't gotten with a squad which actually talks about positions and plays it tactically. So I mean, if you like working in squads and everything, you might not like the game all that much. So that's my Killzone 3 impressions, and that's what I've been playing a little, and I think I'm getting back to BF3 right now, and I'm starting to enjoy it more because I've given it a little bit of break. So Noah, what are you up to?
Well, I am finally done with my summer job, so that is great news. Gonna take a little vacation now and then, so don't know if I'll be back next week, but fingers crossed I will be, if I can get Wi-Fi where I am. This week, my girlfriend's in town, and we actually pretty much live a long distance relationship for the most part of the year. So it's really nice when we can get together. So I'm pretty much just drinking it all in as much as I can.
So you're taking off gaming to spend time with your girlfriend?
I have been gaming a lot less this week.
Okay, okay, that's really good.
No, it's not.
No, it's not because he's been ditching you when you call him to
Yeah,
play
exactly.
Daisy and all that other games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just kidding now.
So Artsy, when Nova is not around, what are you doing, man?
Um, Nothing much. Basically the same stuff. I've been playing a lot. Regardless, Vice has been hanging with his girlfriend, but um, I have played a lot of DayZ, some Battlefield, and a little bit Blacklight Retribution. I have tried to make some YouTube videos for my channel, but I've been feeling a little bit lazy, so I have been just playing and watching some videos on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Blacklight Retribution. I've seen some videos of it. I really want to try that game someday.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's like if Battlefield, Halo, and Call of Duty had a baby,
Mhm.
it would be Blacklight Retribution. So it's a nice game and it's free to play, so definitely pick it up.
So Nova, you were also getting excited about Torchlight 2, right?
Well, that's true. So I pre-ordered Torchlight 2, and it came with the free copy of Torchlight on Steam. And I had never played Torchlight 1, but it just seems like a game I would enjoy, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it. And then I got into Torchlight, played about 10 minutes, and I was pretty happy with my purchase. But the only thing we know about the release date of Torchlight 2 is that it's coming out sometime this summer.
Okay. So I mean, this summer is almost over. They haven't finalized any kind of release date for that game. That's a little odd.
It is a little odd. A lot of people are kind of concerned that it might not come out till fall or even the winter season, holiday season, the start of next year. I still think it'll be out by the end of the summer. I guess the summer lasts for at least another month now, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. For our listeners who do not know what Torchlight is, I think it's a Diablo style game, right? From you kind of have a top view.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo. If you guys remember games like Gauntlet, Legends or Dark Legacy, games like that, or even if you ever played Champions of Norath or Champions Return to Arms on the PS2, one of my favorite games of all time. It's just kind of like a top-down action RPG type game.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I've spent some time in those games. So, guys, moving on to a news section. The first news we have is that Battlefield EA actually reported this that Battlefield 3 premium passes have passed 1.3 million members. That's a huge number. Uh, did you guys even expect them to come to this number?
Um, Actually, I expected a little bit more. Um, I don't know why. It's just like, in my opinion, kind of thing. For me, uh, for me, it's almost mandatory to have the premium. Um, well, mostly because of I'm just a hardcore Battlefield fanboy. So I don't know. It's just, in my opinion, it just comes within the package.
So Nova, what do you think? Did you expect them to reach this number?
Well, I think we heard a number back in February that they had sold over 10 million copies of the game. So we see that about, give or take a couple million, 1 in 10 people have purchased Battlefield Premium. And, I don't know. I kind of agree with Urtzi in the fact that it's a great deal and there's no reason not to buy it. But people also hate spending money. So not everyone buys the DLC that comes out, even with their favorite games. So I'm pleased by the number. Not sure if I'm really surprised by it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by this number because I mean, first, it's almost more than 10% retention because everybody who is buying premium is going to be playing this game for a long time. And also, I mean, anybody who buys premium, I'm almost sure they're gonna be the ones who are going to reach level 100 kernel. So I'm actually happy. I'm surprised, but I'm also happy that people are going to play this game for a while, and we will have a community, and we will have friends to play with this, play on this game because they have invested that amount of money. I think when I bought premium, after that I started taking the game a little bit more seriously because I have put money in it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I feel almost a little bit special by owning premium. And I mean, I realize that I'm special. I'm 1 in 1.3 million, but I don't know. It's a nice way to, I guess, feel on top. When the PS3 got the close quarters maps, it was 2 weeks early with premium. I felt just, everyone I was playing against in these close quarter maps were the premium members. And it really showed in terms of their playing. I think that they are some of the most of the better Battlefield 3 players do indeed have premium. Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, that's certainly true. One fear I have is like because Dice already has our money, they've sold us the premium, they might become lazy in their DLCs, future DLCs for Battlefield 3. What do you guys think about that?
I believe they are like going to get uh, more lazy than they already are, right? Um, but let's just hope they don't. And as the numbers show, they still have some money to get out of the premium. So there are still people who haven't bought the premium. So I'm thinking they are going to try to milk the cow totally empty before burning the burning ship or something.
Nova, you also have
Yeah.
similar feelings?
Well, just kind of piggybacking on something Archie said at the end there.
Hmm.
Um, Not everyone has premium. He brought that out, and that almost scares me a little bit because a lot of people have bought close quarters without buying premium. And if Dice really wants to get in on those guys, Dice and EA, if they really want to make everyone buy premium, they're really going to have to sweeten the deal a little bit more because not only do they not get the back to Karkin free, now they don't get close quarters free. So I think if they want to get all of the people who bought close quarters but not premium, they're going to have to do something special for those guys, which scares me because I like special things. So if they get it, I better get it too. And I'm worried that I won't as a early premium adopter. I bought it as early as you possibly could on the PlayStation. I bought it hour one. So, yeah, I'm a little scared on that.
Yeah,
But going back to the Dice EA thing, I see premium as a contract. We paid them this much money. They are releasing us this many map packs, and if they are not quality, well, I guess there's nothing I can do because they have my money. But you know, other people will share their voices a lot more than I will when it comes to being angry at them if they do not give us what they promised to give us.
yeah, I actually you raised a very good point is the people who already own close quarters and they already own back to car canned premium if they try to buy premium right now it's almost a rip off because they're gonna pay $5 more than what than the amount of money they need to buy the amount of money they need to spend to get all other DLCs in the future. So I mean, if Dice and EA wants to get those people, they might have to lower the price of the premium maybe in September or October, maybe make it $30 or so. But that is gonna piss off the premium members. So I mean, these are all speculations, but these are something some interesting things to think about how Dice is gonna think and how Dice is gonna bring those people overboard to premium or not. So, do you guys expect the price of premium to go down in the next 3 months, maybe after Armor Kill comes out?
I don't
Yeah,
think.
uh,
Oh yeah, Earth, you can go. Sorry about that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Or they have to add something more special into that, like more than the cardboard box cutter kind of knife and the prioritized queue thingy. But yeah, as it is, I think they're going to lower the price.
And I disagree because here's kind of how I see it. They want $50 extra from everyone. So it doesn't matter when you buy premium. I do think that they will sweeten the deal. And here is a Nova Dragon prediction. Everyone take out your
Pen and
pens
paper.
and pencils and write this one down because this one's going to be big. All right, here's my prediction. After Medal of Honor is released, which we know has the Battlefield 4 beta attached to it, after Medal of Honor is released, I believe that DICE or EA will make an announcement saying that all premium members also get to be a part of the Battlefield 4 beta.
Yeah. That is some prediction, and that sounds like EA. Doesn't sound like Dice. I don't want to taint Dice, but we can just throw splatter EA because they do stuff like that all the time. But yeah, anyway, I've noted it down and um I'm gonna see. I'm hoping you're right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So the next news item, Nova, I think you put it in there, so you wanna cover it?
Oh yes, yes. Well, I watched a video from I don't actually think I'm a sub, but the end 004500. Uh, he posts a lot of really good videos on YouTube. Most of them are really factual. They have information that I do not have because he talks to people who are actually important. And he has released some game footage, which was also found on GameSpot, of a new map. It was called Armored Steel, I believe.
Yes, that
Is
is
that
one of
correct?
that is one
Yes.
of the name for one of
Yes.
the map in the Armored Kit
Yep.
DLC.
It's Armored Shield, actually. And so basically, he just pointed out that this map looks a lot like Caspian Border. Mainly that it's just, in the same geographic location. There are a lot of green hills and trees, and the roads are all dirt. And he actually mentioned something that brings us to our next point. He talked about that there is already some spawn killing from the Russian side of that map in tank superiority mode. And that leads me to wonder, how close can you get to the spawns if there is spawn killing in a tank superiority game? to me, the spawns have to be at least quite a ways back, because we know that the you know laser guided tank shells can go quite a ways. I think we really need to see either some mountains or hills put up there so that you can't get hit in your spawns, or just move the out of map area forward for the opposing team.
Yeah, I think spawn killing will definitely be a problem if the map is flat. If the spawn is behind a hill, then it's a little safer. But I mean, how do you flank in a tank superiority or armored kill mode? Um, that is mainly the question. I mean, you can have what you call basically burrows between two mountains through which you can go, but there could only be like two or three places that the tanks can come out, and it could be spawn camped in that way. And I mean, talking about spawn killing and tank superiority, we actually got some details on tank superiority mode. Basically, it's gonna feature around 16 mixed tanks, and they are going to try and control a single flag, and it would be more kind of a king of hill mode. And the single flag in the tank superiority mode is basically there to concentrate all the action from both teams at one place. Now, I haven't played any game that has king of hill mode, and I'm kind of wondering uh, what how King of Hill is different than Conquest. I'm pretty sure you guys have played a lot of multiplayer games, and you guys would be able to answer that.
Yeah. As you mentioned, you compared the conquest, normal conquest from Battlefield and the King of the Hill, uh, and you mentioned the action is going to concentrate on a certain flag, and you actually answered your own question there, I think. Um, yeah, the action is going to concentrate on a relatively small area. We don't like know how big the flag gap or flag hold area is going to be, since if there's going to be like 8 plus 8 tanks, so it can't be like 5 meters radius for the flag. But I believe it's going to be quite cool, since really imagine like Metro Meat Grinder stairs or any flags on the close quarter maps and add tanks there.
So we are basically expecting Conquest with a single flag kind of deal.
Yeah, I believe so. It sounds like one.
What are your impressions, Nova, of the statement?
Well, that I think that Urtsu kind of hit a nail on the head there. I think that King of the Hill is not going to be your typical King of the Hill game. Urtsu, I've been playing some Blacklight Retribution, and King of the Hill, you basically have to be sitting on top of, well, I guess it's like a little robot thing in Blacklight Retribution, but you have to be on top of the hill in order for it to be captured. But I think in Armored Kill, we're going to see maybe even an actual hill that you have to control, I guess. It might even become, if the tanks can't necessarily get a good angle, it might become sort of like a small team deathmatch game actually on the hill. So it'll be kind of like a mix between team deathmatch and conquest. It's possible. No, no news yet on that.
Yeah, I would love to get my ammo crate and my javelins ready and sit at a distance and start firing on that hill in this mode.
Uh, and
Yep.
hope and just hope someone has the soul flame there.
Yes, yes. Overpowered teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually, it's kind of funny that King of the Hill mode came up because I had a dream a couple nights ago. Yes, I dream about Battlefield 3. And I was dreaming about a King of the Hill mode, but it was instead of being for the tank superiority game, it was a replacement for Squad Rush. So you can play it on close quarters. It's just a 4 versus 4 King of the Hill game. I think it would be a great addition to the close quarters maps. It might be a little bit hard to implement in the larger vanilla maps.
4 versus 4 King of the Hill. That actually sounds good. I mean, because I mean, if there are too many peoples, they will just keep reviving each other, and nobody is gonna be able to control the hill. But I think 4 versus 4 might be the way to go on that. So we're gonna move on to our next topic, and EA ESPR basically released a very vague statement saying that Battlefield 4 will release between April 2013 and March 2014. And this kind of statement makes no sense because Medal of Honor pre-orders promises a Battlefield for beta in fall 2013. So it just shows that how disconnected ESPR is with Origin and DICE. And I mean, why even bother to give us a 1 year release time? What do you guys think?
Well, we all know that Battlefield 4, or whatever the next Battlefield is, will release approximately a couple weeks, maybe a month before the next Call of Duty. Obviously, not before Black Ops 2, but before that year's Call of Duty. So, I mean, we can pretty much almost guarantee that it'll be out sometime in the October, maybe September range. I don't know why they gave us such a big timeline there. It kind of turns me off a little bit.
Yeah, Artsy, what do you think?
I think they are like starting to build the hype. Yeah, you are right there that they are a little bit disconnected, but as I said, they are starting to build hype to take up the community and get some free ad advertising time and make people talk about it. And as we have shown already, they can make a huge ruckus without having anything concrete or complete, like anything real to show the community. And with the community as it is, it's working quite well.
Yeah, I think it makes people talk, and I think that's all they are hoping for is that, hey, let's release this news. It's gonna make some people talk. Let them criticize us. It's still publicity, and it's still good publicity or whatever. I think they're trying to go along those lines, I believe. Now, moving on to our roundtable discussion, and we have two different topics for discussion today. And the first one, its title is Battlefield 3, Have You Achieved Your Goals? I watched a video on YouTube from Super Clappy 1984, and what he asked was when you purchased, he asked a lot of questions in that video, but majorly what he concentrated on when you purchased the game, what did you think you were going to do in the game? What was your goal? Like, I'm gonna be a competitive player. I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna fly a jet. I mean, what were your goals, and have you achieved it? Because I mean, the game has been out for almost 8 or 9 months now, and w- are there any goals that you had in mind in the start, and after discovering the game mechanics and everything, you got attached to different goals and different things, and you started doing different things? So basically what he is asking here is how did you, when you purchased this game, what did you thought about it, what were your plans, and how those plans have gone, and what are your plans for the future in Battlefield 3? So, Artsy, I think you want to go first on this one, right?
Yeah, sure. Um, when I was like, when I heard about Battlefield 3, I was so excited since I started at Battlefield 2 and I just fell in love for the whole series. Um, I think the main goals were like to have an awesome game, maybe a little bit competitive side, um, and also to squad up with people since I didn't really squad up on previous battlefields. I don't know why. I had some friends, but not like real platoon. Um, the other question, like, was it like addition missions or goals? Um, well, I believe YouTube channel is one of those, since that wasn't my plan at the start when I was purchasing the game, but it just like came along. I mean, I had thought about starting my own YouTube channel for a while, like 1 or 2 years, but it just came along with Battlefield 3. And I think in the future, I want to be a better player. So I I'm just that kind of person who hates. I just hate losing, and I want to constantly be um like honing my skills and evolving in the game and improving myself. So I believe that that's what I'm going to do in the near future. And I think only thing I have achieved in Battlefield is I'm having a blast playing it, and I have awesome people in the company 008 to play with. So those are the things I have achieved already, but everything else it's just ahead. So trying to be a better player and do some Battlefield content.
Yeah, that is a very interesting thing that you told me that Battlefield 3 inspired you to start your YouTube channel, and I think I have seen that common trend. uh, I don't know whether I'm in the game, that's why I'm seeing this common trend, or I'm in touch with the community, but I'm seeing a lot of people who always had this idea in their head that, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. But it wasn't until Battlefield 3 that they actually got inspired enough to say, like, yes, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with this game. And I think, Noah, you also started your own channel, so why don't you tell us about your impression of from when you purchased the game, and how is it going until now, and what do you plan for the future?
Well, just to comment quickly, yes, I did start a channel. One thing that some people might not notice is that I don't pretty much. So I play Battlefield the most, but I don't stick solely to Battlefield. Urchi doesn't as well, so we're some of the good guys. But just kidding, you guys are all good. But I like to play a variety of games, so I've kind of set up my channel to promote a variety of games. But let's see, it was about 10 months ago actually that Battlefield came out. 9.5, I guess. So when I was buying Battlefield, I basically was buying every hit game that was coming out then. I had a lot of extra money, um, less so now, but it was great, very
You should
fun.
say you were loaded.
Yes, I was loaded, or should I say reloaded. Um, but so yeah, I was buying every game that was coming out. Basically, my whole thought was I'm gonna try this game out. If I like it, I'll keep playing it. If not, I'll throw it on the shelf and maybe take it out once or twice. So I bought Battlefield, and it was a lot of fun to start off with. A little glitchy here and there, um, but I made it to about like level 22 by the time Call of Duty came out about a month later. And once Call of Duty came out, I switched off Battlefield. Pretty much,
Shame on
in
you.
my mind, I switched off for good because Call of Duty came out, and that's where all the real online competition is, right, guys? So,
Yeah.
um, as a joke. But so I play Call of Duty. I hook up with who someone who is now one of my better online friends. Um, I hook up with him and his clan on Call of Duty, And one day we're just sitting bored of Call of Duty. It's sometime in February, and we both realize that we have Battlefield 3. So we're like, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. So we try it out, and we have a fantastic time playing it. So we're playing this game 4 hours a day, every day, and it sounds crazy, but it was crazy. It was a crazy part of my life right there. So uh, I started getting back into Battlefield 3. It became pretty much my sole game for a while. I still played the FIFA, Madden, those type of games, just games that you can play in between rounds or something like that. And so I started getting a lot better at Battlefield 3, which really inspired me. Once I hit level 1, or level 46 as we might call it, I kind of got a little sidetracked. I stopped having things to unlock, and so I didn't really know how to play the game. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos around that time. Got a little hooked on watching Culprit 008's videos, and that kind of introduced me into, I guess, the community of Battlefield 3. Before, I had been a solo player or a small squad player, just me and one other guy, and we had fun. But once I entered the community on Zitterzap, we had a good time. We started playing together. I got my PC up and running, playing Battlefield 3. I'm at Ertzi. So now I guess I'm really kind of more focused on that community aspect. I like to play games with people. As Ertzi said, I love winning, hate losing. So it's not as much about killing as it is about winning. So pretty much I just want to continue making friends. I want to continue being involved in the community. I want to keep my channel going, and I think that Battlefield 3 is one way I can do that.
So in your case, Battlefield 3 was not the game that inspired you to start your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it was actually more Culprit that inspired me. Now, all of his videos at the time were Battlefield 3, but I just saw how much fun he was having making those videos, pretty much pumping out one a day, and I thought, hey, I might as well try it.
Yeah, that's very cool. Uh, mm, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I played the beta, and my impressions of the game were lukewarm. And at that time, I didn't had time to game because I think I got married in May of last year, and I wasn't playing any games. I was just spending time with my wife. We were just doing things together and everything. But in March or April, my wife told me, "Hey, why don't you start playing some of your games?" I mean, I thought she would mind that I'm gaming 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day after coming from work, and I'm not paying attention to her. But she said, "No, you can go start playing some games of your own, and that's not a problem." So I basically, and at that time it was like, yeah, Battlefield 3, because I have had so much fun with Bad Company 2. I just wanted to just play that particular game. So I actually jumped into Battlefield 3 pretty late. I mean, I jumped in, I think my battle log says April 6th or something. It was after the USAS was patched and the M26 Dart uh, glitch was discovered. So I jumped into the game at that time. And my first impression of Battlefield 3 was this is just Bad Company 2 with jets. Okay. But then later on, I got into more gun mechanics, gun unlocks, and the attachment system. And I really started appreciating how complicated and how customizable this game is, and how you have to learn the mechanics and the way you shoot every gun to be good at this game. You can't just be a good shooter to be good at this game. You also need to learn the guns, you need to learn which attachment work for you, and all those things. And I mean, when I bought the game, I my intentions were just to play it as much as Bad Company 2. Well, I've played Bad Company 2 for about 146 hours, but I've played Battlefield 3 for more than 300 hours now, 310 or something. So I mean, I see myself much more engaged in this game. uh, I think the major reason behind that is the unlock system and the gun mechanics. And I love when I figure out how to shoot MG36 and then how to shoot LSAT, because they're all little different. Um, I actually made a lot of friends in Battlefield 3. I joined a platoon called Grad with Guns, and this is a platoon on the PlayStation 3 for young professional and parents, and they do not accept anybody, I think, who's below 21. So I mean, I had a lot of friends with uh, those people. And what I found strange was that many of the people that I played with in Bad Company 2, they actually didn't like Battlefield 3 all that much for some reason. And and that was the only reason where I had to make new friends. And I got involved with the 008 guys. I mean, I met Nova, and whenever he can find time to get on the PS3, it's always fun. So I mean, that's how it all started developing. And then I thought about, hey, let's get more involved with the community, let's do a podcast, let's get 3 or 4 guys together and chat about Battlefield 3 and chat about other games and just have fun. And my plan for the future is, right now my plan is, I want to unlock each and every gun and their attachment. And it is getting a little difficult because now I'm running into guns that are really bad or that do not suit my play style. And I'm having a little bit of frustrating moment with them. And that's why I'm kind of getting, I don't know, maybe that is the reason I'm getting a little burnt out on Battlefield 3 these days. And I believe, Artsy, what are your future plans in Battlefield 3? What do you plan to do? I think Noah just wants to be in the community mode, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. What about you, Artsy? What are your future plans in Battlefield 3?
Um, well, of course, I want to be a like better player, so like constantly honing my skills, as I mentioned before. Um, getting maybe getting more into the whole community, Battlefield 3 community, and to dig more deeper the whole YouTube thing. And I'm actually thinking um, maybe maybe a little bit of competitive competitive gaming, since I got a little competitive bite from the project PTFO, where I was playing in the culprits team, by the way. Um, it was a lot of fun, the competitive side of Battlefield, since before it has just been like casual gaming. I used to play Counter Strike as a competitive player back in the days, but yeah, that's basically my plans in Battlefield 3 in the near future.
So, Noah, do you want to get into competitive side? Because I think you're a pretty good player.
Well, thank you. Obviously still, I've just got a lot to learn still. And switching over to PC teaches me that even more. There's just so much more to Battlefield than I thought at one point in time. But I also played in the Project PTFO tournament with not with Ursi, but I played on the PS3 team, Team LOL, with Dark Symmetry and Chuggy, and I had an amazing time. And so I guess in the future, uh, not just in terms of competition, but I really want to work on squad mechanics. I think that is one place that I could really see some improvement in my gameplay. And I think it will really improve the overall Battlefield game if we really do start relying heavily on our individual squads.
Yeah, I do understand that, and that is one mechanic which is very difficult to get right. I mean, I more for myself, I can hold my own, and I can play well, but I cannot lead a squad. I It's very difficult to make a decision whether you want to stay at this flag or you want to go and capture some other flag. And I think there was one game on Karg Island that I played with you where you told us to stay on D and keep the guys occupied who are coming from the Russian base, and we were playing the American team, and you told us like, hey, stay on Delta. So I think you might have some leadership qualities, and I think on PC you would even learn more and start applying them.
Yeah, the only problem I have with leadership is
Nobody listens
I
to you.
always, well, yeah, you'd be surprised. People tend to listen once.
Yeah.
Once someone emerges as a leader, you'd be surprised at how ready people are to accept them as their leader. But one problem I have is for some reason I always end up splitting my squad up into two and two. So I'll tell two people to stay on Delta, and then I'll take someone else, and we'll go try to get Charlie. But by the time we get to Charlie, Delta could be under fire. They could be dead, depending on the skill of my squad mates. So I think, I appreciate your kind words, but I definitely still have tons to learn about leading squad as well.
Yeah, I think that is one of the most difficult and complicated mechanic to figure out in Battlefield 3. Artsy, do you have any tips or anything about how to keep a squad together and how you go from objective to objective? What do you if you're leading, what kind of decisions you take?
Um, that's actually uh, quite a hard one since every decision depends so much on the meta game and the situation you're actually in. But maybe the best tip I can like give is play together. It's the only way to figure out the squad roles and learn the proper comms, and um, it's also it the decision making. It's not just about the leader to make the decision. It's about the whole squad. Since the leader is only a human, so it's important that the squad is also backing him up, like sharing the information and relying on that information. It's more easy to make that decision. And all the decisions that leaders make, they are they might be right or wrong, and it just depends so much on the meta game. So it's as one of you mentioned before, um, it's a very hard one.
Yeah, certainly. Clappy, he talks about that how he got into a little bit more competitive side of Battlefield 3 with his 008 company 008 clan. And I mean, I tried competitive in Bad Company 2 for a while, maybe for like 3 weeks or so. And I just found out that it was not for me because uh, I I do not have any kind of regular schedule on which I play games. Uh, Many competitive clans and everything, they want you to be at a certain place and a certain time for practice and all those things. There is a lot of stuff you can learn by going to their practices, but it's just the schedule never matches. And then if you're playing competitively, you have to use the same gun every time so that you get really used to it. And for me, I kind of feel like that makes the game pretty monotonous to me because I like to use different weapons. I like to use different attachments, and I like to try things out and figure things out. And every time I figure something out, I get like a Mario coin string moment whenever I'm like, oh yeah, this is how you use this stuff. That's cool. So I kind of trying to stay away from the competitive side. That's why I try to hang out with some players which actually PTO. They always play the objective, but we don't try to do go for clan matches and all those things. So what do you guys think? Noah, you can go first. Uh, do you think that if you go too much into the competitive side, you will be using the same attachment and the same guns, and the game might become a little monotonous to you? Or are there? I'm pretty sure there's an other side to this coin too.
Yeah, I definitely can understand what you're talking about. Because essentially, Ertzi and I talk a lot about our try-hard pants. You run the M16, you run the Cobra sight, you run the heavy barrel attachment, um, and basically you just destroy everyone because you're trying really hard. But that gets boring, and you're right on that. Um, it was actually kind of interesting because during my experience with the PTFO tournament, I had a couple different options. I could run the M16 if I wanted to, but I actually chose to run the AN94 to give our squad a little bit of a mid to mid long range kind of fire. We had one person playing a battle SKS and then two people running M16s. So I think it really doesn't help your team if everyone runs one gun. But if you do, you know, mix it up a little bit every now and then, it can actually sort of re-energize your team.
Yeah, definitely. Archie, do you have anything to say on this, or we move to the next topic?
Yeah, actually, you're right on that one. That if you use only one gun all the time, it gets boring. Yeah, I agree with that. But there's for me, there's two sides in Battlefield. There's this casual side where I can like play whatever gun I I like to. I also like to play with different guns, trying to get some unlocks for them. Except if I put my try hard pants on, which means basically M16 A3, uh, and actually AN94 is also becoming my try hard weapon.
Your
I
try-hard
just
shorts.
yeah yeah exactly. But on the competitive side, when you use uh, when you like specialize on one certain weapon, um, and there's the whole other things that give you the pleasure than the casual gaming. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like casual gaming, you try out the different guns and you get these Mario coin jigging ideas. But on competitive side, how to say it, you get the kicks out of it on a different way, like beating up people, not exactly beating people, but being like um better than them. I'm
Yeah.
I'm very competitive person. I'm a amateur kickboxer in Finland too, so the competitive side is too strong in me. So
Okay, so you're more of a competitive player than casual player for at least Battlefield 3.
yeah, let's say 50-50. It's kind of close.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna move on to our next topic here of discussion. And recently, 2K Games boss, that's what they call him. He's basically, I mean, 2K Games have came up with really cool games. One of them is Bioshock, which I loved.
Yeah,
He actually released a statement, and he said that in order to create new genres of gaming, we need photorealistic graphics or photorealism. And I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Uh, do we really need photorealism to get into new genres of gaming? Noah, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Uh, I'm not so sure. So I play some some of everything. And one day I was sitting there playing Madden, and I realized that playing the video game actually looks better than watching the game in real life on television. Obviously, not in a stadium because that's a completely different thing. But if you have a screen between you and whatever you're watching, um, the video games almost tend to look better than the real life in certain areas, like the sports. Um, but it reminds me that it's not really the graphics that make the game good. Um, However, graphics can make the game better. Um, so there's just two examples. I played Heavy Rain and LA Noire, games that came out for the PS3 and other systems for the past, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. Heavy Rain. Um, these games both look absolutely beautiful. The characters in these games, uh, one of the quotes says, "It's very hard to create deep emotions like sadness or love, the things that drive movies." And in these games, you definitely have, that sadness or love or hate, envy. Um, I remember one time in Heavy Rain, I was in college at that point, so I invited all my friends over to watch me play Heavy Rain. Why not? And we all were getting into it. There's one mission where you have to crawl through a bunch of broken glass in a power plant, and we we were all terrified because you never know what's around the next corner. It could be a rat, or it could be, fire that you have to escape. So, and then you really feel the emotions of the characters that you're playing because their faces just look so real. Right at the start of the game, you actually have to, wake up and take a shower, get ready, and you walk outside and you start having flashbacks. Well, throughout all of this, your character looks and moves very realistically. And I think that was one thing that made that specific game and that specific genre work really well. But I think Erzi might have something to say about the difference between kind of visually pleasing and games that really don't need to be tip-top photorealistic.
Yeah. Personally, I'm definitely piggybacking with you. Um, I just want to compare like the old classic games, like okay, Mario is definitely one. Doom, everybody has played Doom or Wolfenstein 3D. There are huge amounts of other classic games, and on different genres too, that people loved, and they still play them over 20 years later. So the graphics aren't exactly. Um, I believe the graphics aren't the thing to make a new genre or uh, make a good game or create uh, emotions, deep emotions, as Noah mentioned before, like sadness or love. Um, However, of course, eye candy. I love it. I love it when the game looks nice and uh, realistic. But I believe the revolution is coming. Like since the industry and the whole gaming thing, it's almost the same thing over and over again, and people want something different. I believe, like besides the graphics and besides the photorealism, I think it's your imagination that makes your gaming experience more strong, attaches you to your character, and that creates the strong uh, and deep emotions, as we mentioned before. So it's um it's a 50-50. I believe. Like um, only downfall in the photorealistic graphics or photorealism in games is it's just that they give you the idea what you should like think or feel. In my opinion, the main thing which actually counts is your own imagination. When you imagine, um, when you use your imagination, you know, when you read a book, then you imagine things, and when you finish a book, you miss it. So it's basically the same thing to the games in my opinion. If you follow what I'm
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying is that basically what happens is that whenever you're playing a game or watching a movie, take Disney or Pixar movies for example, you create a image in your head, and that image is it's not even photorealistic. It's beyond photorealistic. It's so real
exactly.
to you that that image creates emotions. You do not need better graphics to create emotions, and I mean I have watched many wonderful Disney and Pixar movies which have conveyed more emotions to me than any other motion picture would do. And these
hmm
movies have never been photorealistic, but because
hmm
my brain imagines those characters as real, and those graphics are, I mean, it doesn't have to be great on graphics. Uh,
hmm
it, the brain basically act as a machine which will actually convert those cartoons into something above photorealism, and you will be able to enjoy these games a lot more. And uh, and I kind of I think you were trying to touch on that topic, that if games become too photorealistic, I think it can also create a small problem where there is bad acting in video games. Like there's already bad lip syncing in many video games, and that could also create a problem where the acting in video game have to be perfect. Otherwise, it's gonna just throw you out of that kind of emotions. I think Nova, you were trying to say something.
Well, something you guys have kind of sparked in me is sort of what happens when graphics goes too far. Uh, and there's really two ways that this could happen. In terms of game development, if these companies start focusing only on graphics, well, what happens to the gameplay? But on the other side of the coin, if they release a game that has amazing graphics, will that by any chance hinder the gameplay experience? I'm reminded of the game Mag. I'm pretty sure it was a PS3 exclusive, um, where 256 players can play in the same game. Well, Mag wasn't a beautiful game. It looked okay, but it was pretty glitchy here and there. But certainly there would have been a lot less memory and RAM to handle all of the beautiful quote unquote photorealism if there had been in that game photorealistic images. So I think certain games would really be hurt by the actual graphic quality.
Yeah, definitely. Like Borderlands and uh, Team Fortress, if they have a certain art style to them and you try to make it too good, and people, they'll start, they will definitely get hurt by this kind of system. So I wanted to give you guys an example of a game that will look amazing if it was photorealistic. I think the horror genre can really use photorealism, because I was imagining myself in Dead Space. The game is scary as it is right now with whatever graphics it has, but if those graphics were completely photorealistic, imagine those monsters or necromorphs. running towards you. Noah, have you played Dead Space?
I haven't, but I have played the Fear series, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's most fun to sit in a dark room and play these games by yourself. So when one of their monsters comes at you, you should be scared. And the more realistic these monsters can seem, I think the more scary they will be.
Yeah, I think fear is an emotion which is amplified by photorealism, but all the other emotion like feeling awesome on the battlefield, killing like 20 people and having that amazing feeling, those things don't need photorealism, and there are a lot of other emotions that actually do not need photorealism. But I think fear is one emotion that photorealism just adds so much to it. It's amazing. So yeah, horror genre, they need photorealism. Okay, guys, as you always know, we try to bring you some battlefield tips and tricks. And today we're gonna go. Each of us are gonna go through a single tip, and we're gonna get you guys to improve your gameplay. But before that, instead of giving you a battlefield tip, I wanted to give you a iPhone tip. There is an app on the iPhone store that you can download, and it's free. It's called Onavo. What this app basically does is it installs a certificate on your iPhone which makes your iPhone connect to the proxy servers of this app or this company called Onavo. And these proxy servers, whenever you are sending or receiving any kind of data between your phone and these servers, that data gets compressed. So this app can really help you guys save a lot of data. And I've been using this app for 1 year, and I think I have saved around 34% of whatever data I'm downloading. So if you're on a small plan like I'm on a 200 megabyte per month plan. You definitely want to check this app out called Onavo, and you can thank me later. Now, as far as my battlefield tip of the episode is concerned, I just want to give you one tip. Engineers can pick up enemy mines. So if you don't have a grenade to blow up an enemy mine, no worries. Just go close to the mine and hit your square button on the PS3 or its equivalent on the PC and the Xbox, and you would be able to pick up enemy mines. And I didn't knew this fact until like maybe 2 weeks earlier when somebody said, "Hey, you're an engineer. You can pick up mines." So, Noah, you got some tips to share? Did you know about the mines though?
Yes, I actually did. And let's see, I'm trying to remember when I learned it. I think I actually learned it as support because you can also pick up enemy C4 if I'm not mistaken.
Even though you're an engineer?
Well, no, as a
As
support
a support. Okay.
character.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, one time it just showed me the pick this up icon instead of just nothing, and so I hit it, and I was kind of surprised at what happened, but yeah, it's a really good tip because a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah.
My tip kind of comes in from a different kind of uh, area. Zitter's was kind of more of a defensive tip. Mine's kind of an offensive tip, uh, and that is you should really use stealth when necessary. Now that the close quarters is out, a lot of people have been switching to the heavy barrel based on the recent patches. They have made the heavy barrel pretty awesome. And so previously, everyone used the foregrip and the suppressor. Well, now everyone uses the heavy barrel and the bipod or something like that. Well, switching back to the suppressor every now and then can really save you quite a lot of deaths if you're concerned with KDR. It also gives you a lot of kills because people don't know where you're coming from. It's so easy to flank people given the map builds in Battlefield 3. So my recommendation is use stealth when necessary.
Artsy, you wanna go with your tip?
Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Well, it's not necessarily a tip, but more like a concepts or mantras. Uh, Situational awareness and angles of exposure. Um, the last word, it's actually a concept I learned from X Factor, I believe. Um, Basically, it's just like um, looking around and paying attention to things that like happen around you. Using your mini map, listening to the sounds, um, and the angles of exposure. Like when you move, try to imagine and figure out where you can be shot from. And when you move to the next place, and if you move in a certain way from where people can see you again and from where you are covered, and try to use that for your advantage. I'm I'm not actually going to like spoil it too much since I'm working on a video about these are huge topics on Battlefield, in my opinion. So I'm working on a video on those one. So if you're interested, you should go ahead and check my channel in the near future.
You'll certainly get one view from me, and just to share a little personal anecdote. I was playing some video games with my girlfriend the other day because she's in town, like I said at the beginning, and she has a big problem with those angles of exposure. Pretty much anything that's on her screen, she's perfectly fine with. But as far as she's concerned, everything else doesn't exist. So sometimes I'll just run behind her for a couple minutes just to see what happens. But that's a little mean, I guess.
Isn't is Battlefield does Battlefield leaves you more exposed than in Call of Duty? In Battlefield, do you have to worry more about your angles of exposure than in Call of Duty, according to the map
I
layout?
think, yeah, I think it's a little different. You definitely have more, I guess, 360 angles of exposure. Whereas the Call of Duty, it's just a lot faster. So those angles are constantly changing. Whereas on Battlefield, you can kind of work with it. They don't change quite as rapidly. And then, or I played Daisy. On Daisy, you're basically exposed all the time, unless if you're sitting in the middle of a tree. So you really gotta just pay attention.
Yeah, so the what you mean is like in Battlefield 3, there are fewer angles. I mean, because the game is a little slower paced, you can cover those angle of exposure, whereas on Call of Duty, it's quite difficult because you're on the move all the time.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if there's like less of those exposure angles on Battlefield, but as you said, on Call of Duty you are moving much faster. Then you don't like even either you don't have the time or or you don't have to pay attention to them so much since you are moving so fast and everyone else is also. And
Yeah.
well, it applies to Battlefield 2 on close quarters maps since they are fast paced. So figuring out the angles of exposure are a little more harder, but they're like mantras. So you have to constantly be working on them. And when you like start to get like hunch of it, then it becomes more easy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to our second episode of the Anonymous Squadcast. Remember that you can follow us on Twitter at Anonymous Squad. You can email us at anonymoussquadcast@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail at 6619A Squad. and we will play it on the show for you guys if it's appropriate, of course. You can also subscribe to our feed at anonymoussquadcast.blogspot.com. You can add us on Skype and leave us a voice message on there, or even chat with even chat with one of us if we are on at that time. We are also now live on iTunes, which I'm sure some of you are joining us for the first time because of iTunes. And we would like to give a special thank you to Ertzi for joining us all the way from Finland for this episode. It is currently 5 in the morning there, and we have kept him up for over 2 hours. So we would just like to give a very special thank you for Ertzi for helping us out and giving us his tips and tricks and just having a good time with us on this show.
Thank you both so much. This this past 2 hours, it has been awesome, and this was also my first podcast, so I'm honored to be your guest here, and I can't really express how honored I'm feeling that you got me here to your special guest. You can also like get in touch with me from YouTube, like youtube.com/Ernokoivistoinen, ERNOKOIVISTOINE, or just search Ertsi in YouTube. Follow. You can hook me up in Twitter, Ertsi86, and on Battlelog I'm just Ertsi. So thank you guys again. Like a big thanks to you. As I said, I'm totally honored to be your guest here. And back to Zirasat.
Thank you, Artsy. I'm really happy that you were able to join us and you were able to share and discuss all these topics with us. I'm really looking forward to kind of dragging you into this podcast again in the future. And I also wanted to thank a lot of other people. I mean, when our first episode went live, uh, I wasn't expecting the the amazing amount of input and feedback and support that I have got. I mean, I created a Battlelog platoon, and suddenly there are like 20 people in there within a day. And I want to thank my GWG platoon member, Grad with Guns platoon members, for joining the platoon, spreading the word. I want to thank all our Twitter community for following us and for responding to my tweets. I want to thank the Battlefield Zero Tolerance podcast. I chatted with them personally. I chatted with Papi, Franchise 254, and they have another host, Pentora, down too. I want to thank all of them. They provided me some really good input on the first episode, and I'm trying to work on their tips. And guys, we all are out.
Out.
Out.